stretching video, we'll be doing these stretches called the 7 stretches, and I'm going to start with my splits, counting as the first 3, and I'll be timing those for a minute. So we'll go ahead and start with our right split. And going into right split, you can stand up and slide into it, or just slide into it from the floor. And I'm starting the timer now. So with your split, obviously the goal is to try to get down as far as you can. So a good way to help your body get lower to the ground is to hold a high V. That will help you get closer. And it's also good to try to grab your foot and pull yourself down. Even I know that might be hard, but try not to push yourself off the ground too much. Try to go down to your hands like this, or down to your elbows, and try to be constantly pulling yourself down to your foot, because if you're constantly pulling yourself down and getting down as far as you can, that is what will give you the best stretch. We have about 30 seconds left. You can do it. You're doing great. Splits are very important for your jumps and for stunting and for everything else that we do in cheer, basically. So it's good to make sure you're doing this properly. Try to get your back legs, like the foot, to be flat against the floor. This part of your foot should be against the mat, and your knee should be down. And our time is up. So we're gonna go ahead and switch to our left split. The same thing goes for getting into it, and I start my timer. Make sure you're pushing yourself down with a high V or with a T, and you can try to pull yourself down as far as you can go. That will help give you a good stretch, and make sure you're trying to get down to your elbows. I know this can be very hard at first. Make sure your foot is down in the back and your knee is down. And that is what will give you the best stretch. We've got about 30 seconds left now. You're doing wonderful. Just keep going. But make sure in your splits you're always actively stretching and you're not like out of it or anything. You have to make sure that you're always in it in order to improve. Got about 10 seconds left now. We're almost there. 5 seconds. And now we're gonna do our middle split. This one is the hardest one to do in my opinion because, it's the hardest one for me. And with your middle split, I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer while I talk. You're gonna want to try not to push yourself off the ground like this with your hands. The goal is to try to get down, but you need to make sure your legs are consistently in a straight line, and that's what will give you the middle split. If you get out of the straight line that your legs are in, then you are no longer in a middle split. And the goal is to get down as far as you possibly can. So just bear with me, I'm doing it with you. So we're almost there. We've got almost 30 seconds. Now we've got 30 seconds. Try to get down as low as possible. A good thing I like to do is read whenever I'm doing my splits, because I kind of hate doing my middle splits, but reading or texting or doing things that you do in your everyday life while you're splits will definitely help. We've got 10 seconds. You've got it. 5, 3, 2, 1. And that is our middle split. Okay. You can tell I'm relieved to get out of it. So now we're going to go ahead and do the other stretches, which are the standing pike, the seated pike, the pancake, and our bridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with pancake. Pancake, as I told you, is whenever you are in a straddle position. And the goal is to get your stomach to be completely flat against the floor. So a good thing to do whenever you get into your straddle is to stand up, or even just do this, where you kind of stand up a little bit and get into it. So that way your legs are as far out as possible. That is what will help you get the best toe touch you can get, is if you get a really good straddle. So with pancake, I personally like doing this. You don't have to do it. I like going like this, where I push myself down and then pull back a few times, because that kind of warms up this area of my body to help me go down further. So do that 3 more times. And then on the next one, I'm gonna come down and we will do this for about 20 seconds. And I'll start the timer. So even if you can't get your belly, because I can't even get my belly on the ground, try to get your head, if you're on a clean surface, or your chin obviously, my hands are kind of on the floor and I'm also on the mat, so it's kind of hard for me, but this is a really good one. It'll help stretch this part of your body and is really good for you. Okay, moving on. Let's go ahead and do our seated pike. So in your seated pike, I have said this multiple times, but I can't press it any further. You need to have the correct form in a pike in order to stretch it, because if you're kind of just like this, you're not going to feel anything whatsoever. And so you need to have the correct form in this. Your legs need to be straight, and your calf muscles need to be flexed and just as stiff as they possibly can be. Your knees can't be up, because if you're like this, there's literally absolutely no stretch you're getting from that. So your toes need to be pointed, your knees need to be down, and your legs also can't be like that, because you also don't get very much stretch. So your legs need to be together, your knees need to be down, and your whole leg should be stiff. And then you're gonna try to just go down as far as you can go. Really, it doesn't matter how far you get down. It really matters the most that you have this proper form here, and then pull yourself down as far as you go, because that is what will stretch you the best and benefit you the most whenever you're cheering. So we'll do 20 seconds. So pull yourself down as far as you can. If you can't grab your feet, then grab wherever it is farthest for you. And really try to keep this good form as much as you possibly can, because that is what will stretch you right here in your calves. This is also helpful with running, if you do cross country. And we're also gonna do it where we pull our feet off the floor like this. So even if it's just a little bit, this will also get your calves really, really well and will really help you with cheer. So we'll do this real quick. We're doing it for 20 seconds. Make sure you're keeping that good form consistently. It's really easy to slip out of it. So you need to make sure that your legs are constantly straight, and that is what's going to stretch you the best. And the whole reason that we do stretches is to warm up ourselves for what we're doing. And if we don't do our stretches properly, then that can cause injury. So that's why we want to make sure we do everything to the best of our ability, especially with stretching. So next we're going to do our standing pike. This is just a pike, but you're just standing up. So also try to have good form with this. Obviously don't be like that, because that's not going to stretch you the way you need to. Legs are together, and come down. And try to grab your feet or touch the floor. Touching the floor would probably be better. And if you can touch the floor and that's just really easy for you, try to reach behind your feet, because that will also stretch you really well. This is a really good one, especially if pike is a little hard. Okay, so now we're going to be doing our bridge. Again, this position right here is not a bridge. That is what it's called, a crab. In order to really get a bridge, you need to have yourself laying all the way on the ground and your hands by your ears like this. And you're kind of making a bridge position like this. But once you come up, you're really making a good bridge. So we're going to do this for 20 seconds. A good way to do your bridge is to do it on a mat, because then if you fall, you'll fall on a mat, and it's also much easier for your hands. Good thing to do is to straighten your legs, or to get them as close as your head as possible, or to just do it normally. And then you can kick over or come down. And also, bridges can also kind of give you a little bit of back pain, but it is essential that you do your bridges. So don't stop doing your bridges because it kind of hurts. That is normal. So in a bridge, after you've done it, it might hurt here a little bit. A good thing to do is just rock and roll it out like this, where you just kind of roll. And that is how you do your 7 stretches. Make sure you're stretching at home and do them all to the best of your ability. Thank you so much for doing it with me, and have a wonderful day. Bye.